Hello, everybody. My name is Frédéric Cardin. Welcome to another Pan Am 360 interview. Today, I am welcoming Eli Camilo from the Montreal punk, Balkan, Ukrainian slash Bulgarian music, Eastern European, ska, whatever band. Very exciting band named Dumai Dunai. Eli Camilo is here to talk to us about the first album being released by the band. It will be coming out next June 14th with a launch concert at the Ukrainian Federation here in Montreal with other bands also that will be there. The album is called Sometime Between Now and Never. Welcome, Eli Camilo.
Hi, Frederick. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's a great pleasure to have you here. I've been following you since almost the beginning. The band was created in 2021. And since then, it has burst onto the musical scene, not only here in Montreal, of course, but all around America and the world. Basically, you've toured, and there's a almost a cult following around you. And there's a reason for that. Your presence on the scene is fantastic. It is explosive. It is communicative. It's irresistible. So Eli Camilo from Dumai Dunai. First of all, Dumai Dunai. It's a band that was created in 2021. So, what was the idea behind this creation?
Yeah, it's a bit of a culmination of my background in music. I started out as a teenager playing in punk bands and ska bands. Um, in my 20s, I discovered various folk traditions. I started to play a lot of music from the Balkans and not exclusively. I also played some Latin, Afro-Colombian music, and that sort of became folk music in general. Traditional styles of music became my life and sort of all I did. And I took very seriously studying folk traditions. At some point, I realized that I need to have a creative outlet that is me. Anything I want, anything that inspires me can go into these songs. And the way I imagined that is Dumai Dunai. um I At first I sort of imagined something more of a like a Balkan music uh with a sort of a dub rhythm section. But in 2016 or 17, when I met Natalia, who's the other singer, and we were singing Ukrainian polyphonic songs together, I realized that this needed to be incorporated into the idea as well.
So, what you do is a mix of, as you said, and as I said in the introduction, a mix of Ukrainian chants, polyphonic, and well, song with two voices. Usually it's more than that, but it works absolutely well. Ukrainian chants, Eastern European music, festive music from the Balkans, and so on, punk and ska and dub. But you have a very particular way of mixing them together. It's not about one big, soup of sounds that with everything at the same time. You really go from one style and then there's a sharp cut and you go to another very different style. For example, punk or dub or ska, and then whoop, you stop everything, and then it becomes polyphonic chants of Ukrainian origin. So why do you do that? Why do you compose music and play it that way?
Yeah, welcome to my head. um yeah, that's hard to put into words. I mean, every songwriter has their process. my process is very often you know, poof, the whole thing is sort of in my head, and I have to figure out what I'm thinking, but it's sort of done. And actually, our last single that we released about a month ago is called Healthy, is probably the perfect example of this. I was just playing the piano. I was playing this bass line, really groovy, kind of boom, 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 boom. And Natalia started singing Letila Zozula, which is a Ukrainian folk song, over top of that. And we said, oh, this works. And, I was imagining this, what the guitar would be playing, and that there could be these horn pads there. Um, and so then she said, okay, so we could do this like a cover. And I was like, no, 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 no. This needs to be there needs to be something faster than this that ends like a train wreck into this. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know why, but that's what I'm hearing. So that's what I'm gonna do.
This is part of the Dumai Dunai style, I think. I mean, you know, this is like some kind of signature, and I love it. And I think, people love it because your shows are, crowded, and with good reason. You talked about Natalia Telentso, the other singer of the group, the other front figure. But every other musician is fantastic. I mean, they're all
Thanks.
absolutely great. They're all from Montreal, and it's kudos to the Montreal musical scene to see that there's so many good musicians in every style like that. But Natalia, she comes from Toronto. She's Ukrainian, but she moved to Toronto many years ago, and you've convinced her to move to Montreal, apparently. How did that happen, and why did this happen?
I did no convincing.
No, okay.
Montreal convinced her to move to Montreal.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I think her personal story is hers to tell or not tell, but she moved to Toronto for reasons outside of her own control, I would say, back in 2010 or so, um, and uh, came to Montreal to visit at some point, and just said like, "Oh, I want to live here."
hmm.
Uh, like
And what does she
promised,
bring
promised
to
playing there.
Dumai Dunai in your point of view? What is the importance of Natalia in the sound of the band and the music?
I mean, um, Natalia's a much better singer than I am. She also taught me a lot of the Ukrainian songs we sing together. So she brings a ton of traditional knowledge and um, yeah, I know how. Um, as well as, she wrote for songs like Bobby and Pubita Para, for example. She wrote the lyrics, and the vocal melody. So we kind of all have our own thing. I write more of the music, more of the arranging is me, but she has a huge role when it comes to any Ukrainian folk music, and also a lot of the lyric writing is her.
Yeah. So talk to me about the album, Sometime Between Now and Ever. What's the story behind the album, behind the title specifically?
Yeah, the title is it's the response to a number of questions that I think sort of it definitely ties together the album. And I think it ties together a little bit our generation or this era. There's a lot of uncertainty, like when are we all going to be able to afford the rent? When between our three jobs and two side hustles, when are we going to find the time to just, hang out with the people we love? Um, in Natalia's case, when is the winter going to be over, because Montreal's winters are too long, according to her. Um, but it does have a second significance that's very important to me, sort of why I chose it as the title. About exactly a year ago, actually, I was in Kyiv, Ukraine, visiting friends essentially, and there were bombings by the Russian army every night, and most of the days, but especially every night. So we would say to each other, instead of like see you soon, we would say see you sometime between now and never, because you don't know.
There's also the producing aspect of the album, which
Yeah.
is can you talk to me about it? Can you tell me a bit
Yeah,
about it? Because
absolutely.
yeah, the producing aspect is gorgeous, and well, that's different from the live aspect.
For sure. Yeah, we Dimitris Petsalakis produced this album. He's an old a friend of mine for a long time. Born in Athens, Greece, lives in Toronto. Uh, Plays all the string instruments and actually more. He plays organ on the album, like a Hammond B3, that you'll hear on, I think, maybe two or three of the tracks. But he also uh he knows how synthesizers work, which I don't. Um, and he has a project called Catch Fire, which is amazing, but it's basically electronic sounds. So I thought, and then the guy plays electric guitar and loves metal. So I thought, if there's somebody who's qualified to produce this album, it's him, because he's got the heavy sounds. He's got the traditional Eastern European folk sounds, and he's got the electronic sounds, which personally I've never gotten into, but I appreciate, and I also appreciate their how they can play a role in the production, where you don't even really know they're there, but they're adding something to the sound. And then we brought him in, and he blew our minds. We couldn't have imagined how much he'd bring to the album. So
Right.
we're in love with Demetrius, all
All
of us.
right. All right. So June 14th, that's gonna be the launch, the official launch of the album. What can we expect of this night?
Yeah, it's going to be a big party. It's in the basement of the Ukrainian Federation, which is 405 Fairmount West. It's Fairmount and Hutchinson, right in the Myland. Um, and we are going to transform the basement into uh, a epic party with Polish food, pierogies and sausages from Goplana, which is a great Polish cafe in Point St. Charles. We're running the bar ourselves. Um, we have opening the night is Sumak brass band, old friends playing Turkish, Greek, Albanian, Macedonian, Bulgarian music. Then we're going to hit the stage, and we have surprise special guests of various kinds. We're going to also play a new cover in Polish, which is going to be we're rehearsing it last night. It's great. It's gonna be awesome. Then we have Dusty Brass, which is, if you haven't heard of them, um you will never be the same after next Friday, because they're exactly what Montreal needs in terms of like a American brass band style thing with MCs rapping. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, what we always needed and never had. And then DJ Risa is gonna spin, global sounds until the wee hours. So yeah, it's gonna be quite a night.
I repeat that the launch of Sometime Between Now and Never will happen on June 14th at Ukrainian Federation in Montreal on Fairmount Avenue West. And it's going to be a bonanza of a night with music and fun and partying and some booze and food. So food, yeah, food, good food. So all the best to you, all the best to Dumai Dunai with this album and with the launch and with the rest of everything you're going to do. I guess that you're gonna tour with this album and in the coming months.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a summer tour planned all over Eastern Europe, actually.
Oh, great.
As well as a few dates in Quebec.
Well, I certainly am convinced that they will like and love what they're going to be hearing. And who knows? Maybe you will do for this kind of music, this kind of fusion of musics, what Godspeed or Arcade Fire did in post-rock and bring a lot of people to Montreal. You may bring a lot of people from Eastern Europe, musicians and artists here because maybe they will feel that, hey, there's a good scene over there. So we'll be very happy to welcome them. Thank you very much, Eli Camilo, if this happens. And
Thank you.
kudos on everything. And I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Philippe.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye bye.